We're still waiting for Dr. Nippert.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Pottsgrove School Board meeting. Our call to order tonight, we have everyone here with us. We're expecting Dr. Nippert in just a moment. Mr. Leach is going to try to join us online. He is traveling. And with that, we can begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. That was an excellent suggestion. We should have had the children come up and lead that. I apologize, I missed that opportunity. Okay. Dr. Nippert is with us. We apologize, we were a bit late coming in. We had an executive session with regard to personnel. Next up is public comment. Are there any public comments from the audience? This would be with regard to anything, any agenda item. And I don't think we have any. I'm sorry?
This is the agenda.
Yeah, the agenda items. We don't have anything. Is there anything online? Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. My name is Laura McCorkle. I am a Lower Pottsgrove resident and parent of students in the district. I would like to draw attention to the recent administrative decisions that have greatly impacted the Ringing Rocks community. It was disheartening and disappointing to find out 1 week before the start of the school year that our beloved principal, Dr. Stango, was being moved to another building with little to no warning for transition for staff, faculty, or staff or students. Dr. Stango has done a tremendous job to work with the faculty, parents, and students of the Ringing Rocks community to support academic, behavioral, and emotional needs for all involved. The culture was positive and comfortable with an emphasis on whole child being at the forefront of all decisions and interactions. To have this working relationship dismantled right as this new school year began was detrimental to everyone involved. This is nothing personal, as I have not yet had an opportunity to work with Mrs. Matz, but I'm also concerned regarding the second administrative decision regarding Rocks to make Mrs. Matz our permanent principal. It is my understanding that Mrs. Matz does not currently have a principal certification, yet she was selected above other candidates as our permanent principal. Again, this is nothing personal, and I say this with all due respect for Mrs. Matz, but it does make me question the decisions that are currently being made for our beloved Rocks. As a parent and an educator, I understand very well the importance of trust, culture, and community in school buildings and a district as a whole. However, these recent decisions have made me aware of the drastic changes that seem to be unfortunately taking place in our district. It is my understanding that approximately 100 faculty members have resigned within the past 2 years, many of whom have sought employment in other districts. It is my hope to raise awareness and start the conversation regarding what is going on with our beloved Grove and what we can do to improve the culture of our schools in order to be sure that our students go to school each day feeling happy, respected, and receiving the highest quality of education from teachers who are also feeling respected and happy each day. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you so much for your comment. Are there any additional comments online? Okay. Moving on to 4.1, West Pottsgrove Elementary School presentation.
At this time, I would like to invite West Pottsgrove Elementary Principal Dr. Stango and his team to the podium, please.
Can you sit in the chair? How do you sit? Oh, you kind of want to stand.
wanna stand, okay.
Well, that's all right.
I'll sit.
Here, yeah, MS Fry will sit, and then
Okay.
you guys can stand. Is that all right? Okay.
Thanks for having us. It's an honor to be here with some of my fine kindergarten brave friends. Thank you for being here. And Miss Fry, of course, one of our wonderful kindergarten teachers. So we just thought we'd take a moment here to talk a little bit about kindergarten and the process that we start off in the early spring, February time, through the registration process leading up to the summer and screenings and all the way through to actually the first week or so of school. Kindergarten is an exciting time for both students and families, and a little anxious as well. I think we do a really good job of kind of helping families and the kids get adjusted to the buildings as quickly as possible. I wasn't too long ago, it seemed like it wasn't too long ago, I was doing that with my son, and I remember how much anxiety it brought to me knowing he was off to kindergarten. So I brought a few friends with me who's going to share some experience along with Mrs. Fry. But just to go through some of the process that we start communicating with families early February. And we send a lot of information out. We advertise as well about when, what the requirements for to start enrolling our students into kindergarten. There is an age requirement. You have to be 5 prior to September 1st. So when we have questions about that, we can refer to that. Chrissy, thank you. There's a lot of information on that screen, but there are some requirements that families have to provide and upload online. Oh, we have another one, Spencer. Hi, Spencer. Sorry about that. We have a list there of some materials that the parents and families have to upload during the registration process. There's a lot of things they need, but there's some options as well, just to prove residency, just to prove the age of their child. What's nice is that there's a person in central office that helps families with this, as well as the building levels. If they have questions, we want to guide them through every step of the way, because I know sometimes it's a lot, and there's technology too. So sometimes we have families come in and meet with us, and we help them along the way. Oh, back one. So one of the big, most important things we do in the summer at both Ring and Rocks and at West is our kindergarten screening process. We do that a couple days at Rocks and at West. We have a good number of staff members who help through that process, and Ms. Fry is here to talk a little bit about what that looks like with the kiddos and exactly what some of those screenings are and what we do with the screenings after they're completed.
Okay, good evening. So when we have our kindergarten screenings, we're just taking just some basic information from the kids. We have them try to write their name. We're asking them letters. We're seeing if they know any sounds. Really, the whole point of it is to get the kids comfortable coming into school. And so the teachers are there so that we make sure they see our faces a lot so that we can try to ease any anxieties that not only the parents have, but that their children have as well. And then with this information, we look at all of the information from the screenings, and then this helps inform our decisions into making our class rosters.
So that's an important part. Ms. Fry mentioned the class rosters. We spend a lot of time throughout the summer sitting with our teams and trying to come up with the best fit possible for our kids, and making sure that all our class rosters are balanced to the best way we can. Just trying to already start meeting the needs of the students before they even enter the building. So as part of so after the screenings take place and we assign the class list or the rosters, we have a couple opportunities for the students to kind of get acclimated to the building and visit the building. So we have some open tours throughout August where students are able to come in with their families and tour the building, see the classrooms, see the playground. Of course, that's a popular area, where the gymnasium is, where the cafeteria is, so just to immediately get a feel for the building. And then we actually have kind of like a formal orientation scheduled right before school starts, where we bring the parents and the kids in. So the parents come in and meet with the principal for a little while the kids are with the teacher. And we do like an informational session about, the day in the life of a kindergarten child, what it looks like in the buildings, what are some important aspects of life in Rocks and West, transportation, how to call out sick, what the schedule looks like, where do you go if you're a walker or a car rider. And then we have an opportunity for parents to ask us questions. And then the kids are with the teachers doing all that.
So you want me to share?
Okay. Ms. Fry?
Yeah. So orientation is my favorite because all the other teachers in the elementary schools they know their kids before they get them. And kindergarten teachers, we don't. So this is our way to get to know them and get to meet them and interact with them. And so the kids come in, I do a read aloud with them, we do an art project, they get very excited to ride the school bus. So it's a very nice opportunity for them to, not only they're seeing the teacher again if they attended the screening, if they're attending orientation, this is the second time they're coming in the building. This time they're actually coming into their classroom. And so they're getting more acclimated to their environment. So orientation, that's one of my favorites because then I get to see what little cherubs I'm going to have every year.
And they love the bus ride and getting to meet all their friends. Yeah. So something that takes place at West, I'm looking forward to really experiencing this in the future, is there's a kindergarten picnic. And that's another, and the purpose of that, again, is to have families and students there playing. You know how important play is for the young ones here. But also getting, again, to be with their classmates. They wear a certain color so that they know who's with them. The teachers are there, the PTA is there. They play, they eat, they interact with each other, and the PTA provides some snacks. So it's another, I don't know if you want to share anything else, go ahead.
This is usually right before school starts. So we basically save the best for last, which is the playground. So the kids are usually, that's their last memory they have is visiting us on the playground for the picnic, and that usually gets them pretty psyched up for the first day of school. And I wear a red shirt, and then all the students in my class need to wear red. Every teacher is a different color. So that way when the kids are there, first of all, they might not remember me. So then they say, oh, there's my teacher wearing red. And then they can find other friends in their class so they can get to meet their peers, and they'll all be wearing the red shirts too.
And then we approach the first day of school, which for kindergarten is very exciting, very busy. So we have, all hands on deck in the schools with support staff and teachers and everyone who's available to help with the kindergarten kiddos navigate the building. And we spend the first several days, weeks, going over, what it's like to be a student in kindergarten, routines, expectations. The kindergarten teachers do a wonderful job of modeling what that looks like, how to just be a student in the elementary buildings, because we still have some students who have never stepped foot in a building, which is great, which is fine, but we take good care of everybody. So I know, Ms. Fry, want to talk a little bit about what the first few days
So
look like?
this is my 7th year in Pottsgrove and my 23rd year in kindergarten. So we have a lot of routines, procedures, really talking about the Falcon 4, making sure that they're being safe, being positive, being respectful, being responsible, and we model that. We do a lot of modeling. So I will show the kids how to do it, and then I will have kids do it. And how do we line up? We have to model that. It's like, there's so many routines and procedures, but it's crucial that we do those items and we get all of that presented to the students so that they know the rules, routines, and procedures, and then that makes for a smooth transition with learning without any hiccups.
And they do an incredible job. So now the time we've all been waiting for. We have our brave kindergarten students who willingly came here tonight. You look wonderful, to talk a little bit about what they love about kindergarten. So we have Juliana here. Say hi, Juliana. We have Adeline, Addison, Carson, and Spencer, who are our wonderful, brave kindergarten souls. Who would like to go first? Spencer, would you like to go first, buddy? Okay. Come on, Adeline. No? Okay. Who would like to share what they love about kindergarten so far? I know we talked a little bit about this. You did an awesome job. Come on, Carson, I'll help you. Carson, what do you think what is your favorite part about kindergarten so far? Math. That's a great answer. What do you love about math?
Math questions.
Math questions, okay. Anything else you'd like to share about what's exciting about kindergarten, buddy? Okay, you did great. Addison? Come on, Addison. What's exciting for you? What do you love about kindergarten so far?
The playground.
The playground. All right, what about the playground?
With playing.
Playing with your friends? That's wonderful. Adeline, you want to try? Juliana? Come on over. It's okay. What's something exciting about kindergarten for you?
I like to read, and the more I behave good in the classroom, and I get coupons so I can get stickers.
So you like to read, and when you behave well, you get coupons to get stickers. Well said. That's a great answer. Spencer, you want to give it a shot, buddy? Okay, thank you. Spencer, what's exciting for you?
Math.
Math, too?
Yeah.
What else about, anything else you'd like to share about kindergarten?
Questions.
You like to ask questions? Okay. Do you have any questions for anybody over here? You do? What's your question?
I like math and writing and doing math.
You like math and writing and doing math. Wonderful, thank you. So thank you so much for being here tonight. You guys did a great job. You want to try again? Okay. I knew it. What's exciting for you?
The playground and math.
The playground and math. So I promise I did not tell them to say math, although I was a former math teacher, but math is exciting. We have a new math program, so that's good news since we're implementing a new math resource. So I guess we're off to a good start. Anything else you'd like to share? Okay, thank you very much.
This is a question for our kiddos.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Westy?
Have we seen Westy? We did? Anyone remember where? Gym. In the gym when we were doing something, right? You want to share that? Go ahead, Juliana.
Who is Westy?
He's a mascot of the school.
Oh, very nice.
It's a cheetah.
Yeah, so we had our
Thank you very
yeah,
much.
Our PBIS assembly, and Westy made a wonderful appearance. Okay. And anything else we could do for anyone?
I have two quick questions. First one for Dr. Stango. Kindergarten registration. So we see registration in like two kind of batches. We see it early in April, and then we see it late. Can you talk a little bit about how it might, like how we do registration and how it's helpful the earlier we get it?
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity to start talking to parents about what kindergarten's like, and that's part of what the screenings are. I mean, I think in some years we've done screenings a little earlier, so that's an opportunity to get to know the kids as quickly as possible, to share with families, hey, you know, it may be only the springtime, but we have until August to get students ready or prepared for coming into the building. So intervening earlier, the better. Yeah, so that's something we talk about is the best way to start the kindergarten process, the best way to start, the most efficient and effective way to screen. So that's a conversation we're going to continue to have and try to do it better each year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And this is for you, Ms. Fry. So the board has heard me talk about pre-K counts, and unfortunately we did not get that. As someone closer to the impact of a program like that, I wonder if you could just speak a few thoughts about how having our kindergartners have up to 2 years of structured instruction prior to walking into kindergarten might be helpful for you.
That is fantastic when that happens because the children, first of all, start to socialize, which is very important. They also learn how to share. They learn how to get along with their peers, and they learn the structure. And that's I would say in kindergarten, that could be the tricky thing because some kids come in and we have these routines and these structures, but if they've never been in school before, and they don't have any experience, it's brand new for them. So it's going to be a little bit harder for them to acclimate. So anything we can do, like pre-K counts, to get them in the building, get them comfortable, you know, I think that's a great idea if those programs can be implemented. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Good job.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
And we're moving on to, that was amazing, by the way. We're moving on to 5.1, the September Student Board Report. I'm so excited.
I know,
that
I
you're
bet you
here.
are.
I am so
I bet you're
excited.
excited. All right, I got good updates too. So, good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a good end of the school year and a good summer. I'm more than excited to be back for my senior year on the school board, and I hope I can continue to make beneficial contributions to both the board and to my school community. Tonight's report is going to focus on the first few weeks of school as well as my personal experiences so far my senior year. Starting off, fall sports kicked off their seasons with a bang, and many teams found success in their first few weeks of games. The student section spirit has been strong, especially at football games where the themes have been very popular among the students so far. Looking ahead to the rest of this week, there'll be an activity fair where clubs will have tables set up during lunches to help students discover clubs and activities they may be interested in. This is a great way for students to get involved in clubs early in the school year and learn what's out there. Student Council is also holding our first Spirit Week, which Cecilia will talk about later. But basically this week was their first one, and it was a big hit with the days they picked. So yeah, basically my senior year has been good. I liked the start of the year was way less stressful than last year. I don't really know why, but it was a really smooth transition. And so now I'm just going to turn it over to Cecilia for the rest of it.
Hello everyone, my name is Cecilia and I'm very excited to be joining the school board this year as a junior. My report is going to focus on activities that I'm included in as well as activities I think will be beneficial to our school, involving student participation and school spirit. Currently, I'm involved in Student Council, NHS, and a proud member of the Pottsgrove High School's varsity cheerleading team. Personally, being involved with the cheer team has definitely helped push me to become more school-spirited and has taught me to work on a team with peers you may know or not know at all. Although I'm a cheerleader, the student section has definitely been on top of school spirit this year. Half the time, I feel like they're louder than us. Lost my place. Participating in chants, cheers with the cheerleaders, and dressing up as the theme has definitely been seen a lot more than the previous years. Some events I've been interested in mentioning to the board would be a dance team, specifically because we have a lot of dancers in our school, and I used to be a dancer myself, and I feel like cheer and dance is very different. Monthly rewards, like we do in middle school SWIBIS, for good grades, good behavior, or exemplary attendance. They don't have to be monthly, but they could be quarterly. I feel like the end of the year award ceremony, it's good for the end of the year because it gives you a little bit push at the end, but I feel like there's not really push in the beginning. These events could be backyard games on the turf, such as cornhole, food trucks, etc. And finally, more assemblies in order to bring all the classes together in one room to be able to enjoy an event together. Currently, student council members are working hard to produce a Spirit Week at least every month of the school year to improve school spirit, and NHS members are currently getting ready to start organizing events to help our Falcon community. I'm very excited to see where this year goes in my academics, clubs, athletics, and the challenges and influences I will make on Pottsgrove this year. Thank you for your time and your consideration for me being on this board.
Thank you.
Moving on to 6.1, report of the superintendent.
Thank you. I have two things I'd like to talk about tonight. First is the Lutheran Church Grant. The Ed Foundation received $5,000 in grant funds from the First Presbyterian Church in Pottstown for school trauma-informed services training for our Pottsgrove staff members. We'd like to thank the Mary N. Porter designated fund of the Community Foundation of Broward County for making this gift and for from the First Presbyterian Church possible. As a district, we're committed to ensuring that we meet the social, emotional, behavioral, and academic needs of our students. Over the course of the last few years, we've seen a need to further develop and train our staff in trauma-informed approaches in order to more effectively support our students. Equipping our staff with the knowledge and skills needed to address trauma will ensure we create a supportive environment where every student can succeed. So thank you very much. Another grant that I wanted to talk about is our structured literacy grant. The district has completed an application for the structured literacy grant. The funding is provided through the Pennsylvania State Senate as part of the American Rescue Plan Act. Pottsgrove School District allocation is $99,186, which will be used to support literacy initiatives at our 3 elementary schools. I'd like to thank Mr. Vorez for his work in working on this grant and submitting this grant. And I gave him a very little time to do that. So I appreciate his hard work on working through this. Specifically, this grant will support our Foundation's ELA curriculum and provide structured literacy, so it's like leveled books for grades K1 and 2 and some training. So we're excited about this and look forward to using these resources to further support literacy in our schools. So thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Finnerty. Thank you for expanding upon that grant and what it all entails as well. Are there any questions about any of those agenda items so far? Okay, great. I'm going to move on to 7.1, approval of monthly board action minutes for August. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion, I'm sorry, Joe. I'll make a motion, we approve 7.1 along with 7.2.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve 7.1 and 7.2. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 8.1, receiving of accounts for audit.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the August 2023 high school and middle school activity accounts as presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve 8.1. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. 9.1.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the payments of invoices in the amount of $1,502,126.36 for August and September 2023 as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve 9.1, paying the bills. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. 10.1, treasurer's report.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the treasurer's report for August 2023 and file it for audit.
We have a motion and a second to approve 10.1, the treasurer's report. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to action items, personnel.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve 11.1.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve 11.1. Are there any questions?
I would just like to welcome Ms. Matz as principal. I'm very happy for her, and welcome aboard, even though she's been here before, but congratulations.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Mrs. Matz. Thank you. Moving on to 11.2.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve 11.2 through 11.5.
We have a motion and a second to approve 11.2 through 11.5. Are there any questions?
No, I'd just like to make a comment. Lauren Klinger is an alumni from Pottsgrove. So she used to be Laura Edmonds, but I love seeing our alumni coming back. So congratulations, Lauren.
Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. 11.6.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve 11.6 through 11.12.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve 11.6 through 11.12. Are there any questions? Hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. 11.13.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve 11.13.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve 11.13. Are there any questions? Okay, hearing none. Did you want to? Okay,
No, I wondered if you wanted an explanation.
For the community, be transparent.
go ahead.
Sure. So item 1113 is an adjustment to my contract. My contract has kind of a weird way in which my vacation days are awarded, and it is time consuming for our HR department. So this motion would just change the way that my vacation is counted so that somebody doesn't have to go into my account and add a vacation day every month. There's no benefit to me and no cost to the district.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. 1114.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve 11.14.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve 1114. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Action items, business.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve 12.1 through 12.4. That was a tie.
There was a tie. We have a motion and 2 ties for second to approve 12.1 through 12.4. Are there any questions?
I would just like to thank Crunch Fitness for being a sponsor for us. That means a lot, goes a long way.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. 13, action items, education.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve 13.1 through 13.3 with an explanation on 13.3, please.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve 13.1 through 13.3.
So 13.3 is an approval for a conference attendance for dual enrollment University of Pittsburgh. One staff member, Gwen Gundrum, who is our German teacher at the high school. She teaches German here, and it is also for dual enrollment credit. So as part of the participation agreement with to be able to award dual enrollment credit for students, and remember, dual enrollment is they get college credit in addition to the high school credit. We need to participate in this program.
Are there any other questions? No, hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. 13.4.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve conference attendance 13.4 through 13.7.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve 13.4 through 13.7. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to the MCIU update 14.1.
I'm going to pass on that because I had to jump off the meeting after the exec session. And if I'm not in the meeting, or at least Zooming the meeting, I'm just reading what was done, and that's not very exciting.
Thank you. Moving on to 15.1, JOC meeting update.
Well, thank you, Tina. The JOC, we had a Zoom meeting last night. Again, we always have wonderful meetings, when we all get together and share stories. But the most important thing is our enrollment total is 707 students that are attending the Western Center. We have 394 in the morning and 313 in the afternoon. For Pottsgrove, we have 175 students attending. Springford has 218, and Upper Perk has 314. So it's kind of like things have kind of shifted a little bit, which is wonderful. We approved Craig Robinson as our new principal. He starts October 17th. He's been going to the school and getting set up and getting acclimated, but they're holding him, so his first day will be the 17th of October. We're really looking forward to him. He's coming from a Philadelphia school district, too. We approved the 2023-24 handbooks for students and the 2023-24 handbooks for faculty and staff. Oh, God bless you. No, okay. So I had asked that we get hard copies for the JOC members because the pages are like 40 and 60 pages long, so that's coming. We approved the WMCTC Health and Safety Plan, which is required by the Pennsylvania Department of Education with no changes. And our next meeting is going to be October 2nd at 7 p.m., and everyone's welcome. And I'd just like to add, if any of our other members would like to shout out to anything?
No, it's good.
Okay. Sound good? And that's all I have. If if you have any questions.
Any questions with regard to the report? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we're at new business. Dr. Finnerty?
Thank you. I do have one piece of new business. As we congratulate Mrs. Matz for her appointment to Ringing Rocks, it is also, sadly, our last week with Mr. Seiler in the district. He will be leaving us. His last day is this Friday. So I wanted to thank him publicly and personally for his service to the district. He has been with us 10 years. He has done a phenomenal job at West, and as I shared with him the other day, I never worried with Steve out there at West, holding down the west end of our district. He's done a great job, and I'm very appreciative of his services and wish him well. And I'll publicly go on the record that I'm also very interested in being a reader as you pursue your doctorate someday, okay? And we're leaving your building in excellent hands with Dr. Stango right there. So thank you.
I would just like to thank you too, Steve, for all you've done over the 10 years I've known you. You've grown and you've done a great job with the community. So I wish you nothing but the best.
Okay, I wanted to double check if Mr. Leach has been able to join us from his travels to see if he had any new business. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I know his plane just landed like 15 minutes ago, 20
Okay.
minutes ago.
Thank you for that. So I would be next, and of course, I'm excited because I can say, how's school going?
I knew you'd be excited. It's going good actually. I don't usually say that, but it's actually going good. College is scary, but the rest of it, I didn't realize that Common App was more than like 2 buttons until I went into the Common App and realized there's a lot of questions to fill out. But I feel like our counselors have done a great job, especially these first few weeks, like getting us on a good track of like what we're supposed to have done by what point and good deadlines. And I feel like the school environment as a whole, like people have gotten way more like into school spirit and more into like being at school. Maybe it's just like the time passed with like COVID, but I don't know. I just feel like everyone's like more happy to be here and like everyone's so enthusiastic and like nice. I don't know. Maybe it's just like my senioritis is kicking in, but it could be that. And then that's like a month in, but I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy to be a senior, but yeah. I know, but like the senior privilege, like it's too much. Yeah, yeah. No. See, after Labor Day, I think it starts actually.
Honestly, mine's been very different from hers. I've been stuck in the middle of some things that I feel like shouldn't happen in school. I don't know. And I feel like some people just get there too late, like when it happens, like the new class that just came in, I feel like they're not used to a high school setting yet. So they kind of just ramp themselves up and then things get ramped up. Class officer voting is happening right now. And I don't know, I just kind of got a little aggravated because like there are requirements to run for homecoming, but there's no requirements to be a class officer, which I feel like it should be the other way around. To be on homecoming court and to be in a dress, you have to have a certain GPA and be in a certain amount of clubs, but to be a class officer, which lasts all year, you just have to put yourself in the Google form. So I don't know, I just kind of felt like it should be kind of switched around.
Thank you for sharing, because we ask the questions and we want the answers. And so I appreciate that, and it just helps everybody to work together. Dr. Finnerty, did you have anything?
Yeah. So as you both know, one of the things that I envision for your roles is to not only to be the voice of students on this board, but also to actively engage and work together and use your leadership to help make this a better district every day. So I encourage you to reflect on that and to take advantage of that and work with. You have a great administrative team that want to hear from kids. So I would encourage you to reach out to them. And let's make this a great year for everybody. So thank you for that.
I have just an idea. I know how we do class meetings sometimes, like we do it for color day and we do it for stuff like that. But I feel like the way we vote is also a problem because half the people don't even know that we're voting. My personal experience, I was campaigning and they're like, "What are we voting for?" And I was like, "Okay." Um, so I feel like if we had like a class meeting where like the candidates would like give speeches, because I feel like in real life that's how it works when you get like nominated for an officer position. And I feel like instead of it being a popularity contest, it should be a contest in which kids have like every kid has the fair chance to be it. I know that my sister personally didn't run because she knew that she wouldn't win because of her. She's not like as outgoing, and her name isn't really known as so like like you see someone's name, you're like, oh, she's popular, vote. So and I was just like, well, you should still run, like you still have a chance. She's like, no, I can't. So I just feel like if we have a class meeting and have everyone's like ability to be heard, I feel like that would just be a better idea than just having a Google Doc with names on it.
I do think that's a good idea. Somehow for the senior class voting, like, I feel like every year there's different people, and obviously I know enough of my class to know who I want to be a candidate. But I do think for like, if there are people on there that are running that I don't know enough about, I feel like it would be cool to like hear their opinions, like we'll hear what they want to change in this school, just because I might not know everybody that personally. Like I know a few of them, but I'm like, okay, I know of the person, but I don't really know like what's a good asset they have. But I feel like that would be a really good idea to like start maybe like. I don't know. It doesn't have to be for class voting, but just for like anything voting, really, would be pretty cool. Because I feel like it would give us more of an opportunity to like get to know our candidates and really know like, okay, now I've heard of this person in our school. Let me click vote. Whereas like that's kind of what we do. I mean, I'm guilty of it because that's obviously our only option. But I think it would be cool to be like, oh, let me just like hear what these people have to say before we like do it. I don't know. It'd be a cool idea. That's a good idea though.
Juniors have a lot of responsibilities, so we do junior and senior prom, which is a big thing. And if people, like I know a lot of kids in my grade have just put themselves on there because they know they win because their friends are going to vote for them. And this one kid in my class said, I'm going to win president and not do anything. And that just really bugged me because we do senior prom, which is special for a lot of people. We also do color day, which is like our school's biggest thing. And I just feel like if speeches were like required and there were requirements to even be considered like there are for homecoming, there would like it would be taken more seriously instead of just taken as like a joke or a game.
Thank you so much for all of those thoughts. I feel too like junior year is a tough year, and it's only been just a few years that I was a junior in high school. But I'm kidding, obviously. It's been a really long time. But it was, it's a critical year. So I applaud the class, especially for taking on additional roles. And again, thank you for bringing these thoughts here to us so that we can hear them out and work together on them. I appreciate it.
Yeah, as a senior, we thank you guys for your work because we know half the school events will not be happening without you guys because we just sit back and relax at this point. But we try. I'm not on the class. I let them deal with all that, but I try to help.
It's just funny to me how juniors have the responsibility of the entire senior class and their events, their big events. And like, I don't know. It's just like being in charge of prom as a junior and like know that like it's a big event. You're just like, oh God, like what if they don't like the theme or the place where it's at or like the food or the DJ. It's like all on us. And I don't know. I just feel like people who want to be there and want to actually make it a good thing should be an officer and not people who just put themselves on there.
It sounds like a position of true servant leadership, serving the senior class. And kind of like how you've, last year you served so diligently as a member of the junior class. But I hope the senioritis kind of passes. Yeah.
It will I enjoy coming to school and like I do look forward to all the events. But now being a senior, I realized like last year all the work we were putting in for the seniors, like I now know how much work it is, and knowing how much work that they have to put in for me, we do contribute to it as well. But it is just nice to see that the work doesn't go unnoticed because like I do see now that I'm a senior and I was a junior, I'm like, geez, like that's a lot of work that they put in, and like it's so successful all the time. Like I thought prom was great, even though we planned it, but like we didn't know if the seniors were going to like it, like you said, but I think they liked it. I think Color Day was good. Well, we won, so it was really good. But shameless plug. But yeah, I think it's good. I do think that the junior class having a responsibility is like a blessing and a curse, because it does help them like solidify a little bit more of their future for going to senior year. But at the same time, it lets the seniors kind of have like a little, less of the burden on their shoulders, but they could spread it a little more evenly. I don't know. Maybe. Let's get some of the freshmen in here. I don't know. Like them do the work. No, but I do think, I do appreciate all the work all the members of the student council do and members of our class advisors do. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing. It does sound like it's quite a collaboration of both grades, both classes, and that's a beautiful thing. Patty, do we have anything for new business?
Actually, I have two things. When I was looking through the checking register, I had noticed that the class of 2022 had donated a class gift of an outdoor picnic table. And I didn't know that until I saw this, so I was wondering where the picnic table is. Do we know?
Is that the one out in front of the? I'm looking vaguely between you, Mr. Onspot.
Well, I just thought that was wonderful that I saw that they had bought a picnic table. And the second thing is just reaching out to all the parents out there. This is the time to get involved with your child and get involved in your community. They have the PTOs, they have the Booster Club. They have all different clubs for sports. They do have the music league. So this is how like I got started, just being like a classroom mom, we used to call it at the time. But this is the time to come and get involved, because this is how you make friends. And it's just so much fun. So I just encourage all the parents out there to get involved any way you can. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Anything, Jay?
No, thank you.
Joe?
I have nothing at this time, thank you.
Okay. Dr. Nippert? Coming. Jim? Bill? Ashley?
I just have something quick. Number one, I certainly hope that you bring up your concerns, Cecilia, to to administration, because I think a lot of them have, has some validity. So I think you're looking at things kind of, at the right way, because I agree. The school officers, class officers there should be a lot more behind it than someone just throwing their name in. But you've probably never seen the movie, but it just made me think of Napoleon Dynamite. How the kid who had no chance won class president after a really cool dance done by his friend. So good movie, watch it sometime. But you have to watch the credits. You have to. Anyway, the real thing that I wanted to mention was I was watching the news tonight, and they were talking about the lawsuit for school funding, or what I wasn't quite sure what they were. They're going, I guess, around the state, and they're different school districts, I guess, or areas are kind of presenting their issues with funding and how inadequate it is in some areas and how other areas get a lot more. Anyway, they were talking about Lehigh. They had, I think, the Allentown superintendent on, but then they had a guest on, and it happened to be Marlene Armato, who I don't know how many of you know her, but if you know John Armato, who is just an absolute legend in Pottstown, he was the Pottstown superintendent for, I don't know, 30 years or something. Marlene is his wife, and she was a teacher at Springford. She was actually my older brother's, like, 4th or 5th grade teacher. She was teaching at Limerick Elementary when I went there. So she is just as involved as her husband is, and she was interviewed, and she talked about the inequality between, her husband John was at Pottstown, and then here she was at Springford. Springford got plenty of funding, and Pottstown has always been underfunded. So I just thought it was really cool to see a face that is, very popular in Pottstown. You go to just about any kind of function in Pottstown, and you'll see one or both of them there. They're both very involved, and I just thought it was really nice to have a local voice on Channel 10 News, talking about school funding. Yes, he is. He is Pottstown's biggest fan.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, that moves us on to 7.1, which is public comment. This is with regard to anything that anyone may wish to speak on. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak? Anyone online? Okay. Moving on to adjourn. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Good night.